Hey, everybody, welcome and welcome back to the Conscious Spirit Podcast. I'm Mari-Lyn, and Marci is with me today. You have already been introduced to Marci, so she's hopefully a familiar face by now. And this is not going to be an ordinary podcast. This is another interview.
Yeah. Part of this series of interviews. So no matter which ones you've watched first, second, third, everyone's going to have one. And if you're picking your favorite interview first, then this is probably a first because it's Mari-Lyn, and I understand that it would be
No, I'm pretty sure the first one's going to be Pam. Everybody's going to want to watch Pam first, which is understandable because she is the founder of TCS, right?
Sure. Yeah. Everyone has a really unique story so far. This is something I love to do. I've been wanting to do this since before becoming a student. So many questions. So, I mean, you guys sprinkle some of the answers around your videos here and there. We learn a little bit more about you.
Yeah.
This is really just focused on you, no pressure.
No pressure.
But it's super fun. So far, they've been amazing. So I'm super excited. So thank you for allowing me to do this.
Well, thank you for wanting to do it and for putting it out there that that if you want to do it, there's got to be other people who want to see it, right? Mm-hmm. It's kind of funny, Pam and I can get pretty vulnerable in our podcast. Yeah. So why am I sitting here nervous?
Yeah, well, I mean, the light, I would be super nervous. Eventually, I imagine an interview of me will come out there, and I'm waiting. I'll wait until the end, right? Everyone else is going first. That's on purpose for me. So, but it did not take me. It took me, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes to get all of these questions. I've been preparing these questions for quite a while. So, and anyone who's watching or listening, please submit more questions so we can have part twos.
Oh, great idea.
Yeah. Bring you back and make you do this again. So super excited. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And while we're at it, please like, subscribe, share. It all helps, and we want to grow.
We do.
We want to get out there.
It's exciting.
We are growing. Yes.
Let's speed it up a little bit, though.
Yeah. And we appreciate everybody's support. We love you guys. So
yes, we have the best fans.
We do. Yeah, we do.
Yep. All right, let's get started.
Okay.
We're grounded. We've opened space. We're good. We're ready.
Yes.
So apologize if we get a little high vibration, get a little drunk, but this should be fun. Okay.
It'll be fun. Yeah.
I always start with how we came across TCS.
Oh, yeah.
Go back a little bit and, what synchronicities led up to finding TCS. And the first time meeting Pam.
Yep.
You have to hold back your first impression. We all have one. So, Take us there.
So, I'm sitting at home and I'm just scrolling through Facebook. And a friend of mine sent me, I don't know if it was an invite or you may be interested in meditation. It was an invitation to come to a meditation at what was then TCS, the Community Spirit.
Right.
And I looked at that and I went, huh. So I looked at it a little bit, and the thoughts that went through my head ranged from, this could be the best thing on the planet. This could be a crock of shit.
Sure.
And I just moved on.
Okay.
And I, as soon as I got out of that page, I went, what are you doing? You have been thinking about something like this for months. You have been wanting to explore something like this find people that are something like this.
Yep.
What are you doing?
Right.
So I pulled it back, and I think at that time, I don't remember honestly if I had to sign up. I think I did. I think I actually had to sign up on I forget what app it was that was being used.
Yeah.
So I did. It was an evening meditation.
Mm-hmm.
I get there, and this place is um, in a basement, and the stairs are outside. And I'm
Okay.
like, "Oh, okay.
Very New York look,
This
feeling.
is this is okay." So I go down, and I am like nervous. And I get there, and the place is dark. And I walk in, and I walk around the corner, and Pam is just sitting there. And it was like I was stopped in my tracks. She is not familiar to me at all, and yet I know this person.
Oh, wow.
Her looks, I don't know what I was imagining, but it wasn't
Right.
Pam. But I felt like I knew her. It
Mm-hmm.
was so bizarre.
Yeah.
Um, so I go in. Um, we have those normal pleasantries, and people come. Pretty soon the meditation starts. The very first meditation, I sobbed. I don't even remember what the meditation was, but my mother came in, and my mother at that point had been gone probably less than a year. No, I
Oh,
know she had been gone less than a year.
right. Yeah.
Um, she came in, and not visually, I can't even really remember, but she came in. Um, it was the most healing thing I had ever experienced in my life.
Wow.
It was so spirit filled.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Wow. And
it was amazing.
up until that point, what was your like meditation experience before that? Had you ever joined a group?
Never a group.
Okay.
Um, I had done some um I had found, I don't even remember how I found her. Her name is Rebecca Campbell. She's
Oh, yes.
from, I
You've.
think, the UK.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I had done some of her guided meditations.
Mm-hmm.
And they were powerful for me.
Yeah.
Um, I remember even before I had found her, I had found this 8-minute guided meditation that I memorized. It was about finding your guide.
Oh, okay.
Um, I memorized this thing. I did it every day,
Wow.
and every day I had a different guide.
Oh, wow.
They were in sometimes mostly animal form.
Yeah.
I remember one of my favorite ways to do this was at the gym on the treadmill. Of course, I had to hold on,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I would do this meditation. It's an 8-minute meditation, but I could make it a half hour. It was amazing. So that's the extent of my meditation practice. I had tried to do like mindfulness.
Yeah. 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 No, not your thing. No.
No, no. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's you're kind of collecting a lot of.
I was collecting, I was searching. I was really searching for that connection to spirit.
Right. And so your
Um,
knowledge of spirit guides and what it is that was happening, how much did you know about it before that, or was it kind of just happening
it
and then
was happening. It was
wow.
just happening. Um, you didn't ask this question, but I'm going to go here anyway. So I was raised Lutheran.
Okay.
We went to church every Sunday.
Mhm.
Um, and I can remember asking my mom certain questions because the whole the whole fear of God thing just didn't
Right.
resonate with me.
Right.
There was a phrase, and mind you, I'm a child. I am like maybe first grade, so
Wow.
I'm a small child, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But the phrase "where two or more gather in my name, I am there."
Mm.
And that may not be it, but that's, as a child, that's what I remember. And I remember asking my mom, "Mom, why can't I be alone and have God be with me?"
Right.
She didn't have an answer
Right.
that I remember. And there wasn't an answer, at least, that satisfied me.
Sure. Yeah.
um, so my whole childhood, I was really confused about God and about what it all meant.
Mhm.
And as I grew, uh, and I found alcohol,
Mm.
oh, that there was this hate relationship with God.
Right. Okay. I was going to ask if you had ever found that safe space to ask those questions, but I'm going to guess
Nope.
no. Since you kind of led up
Nope.
to that.
I never found anybody who was willing to go into those deep conversations with a child.
Right. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, as a child, I would have other experiences and nobody would go there with me.
Right.
Energetic things, paranormal things, and it was all shut down, shut down, shut down, shut down.
Right.
So
Did that, so yeah, so you shut yourself down in a way. Did you stop where you stop? Sorry, did you stop becoming curious?
yes, yeah, across the board.
Yeah.
Pam will
But
attest to
were
that.
you fearful of it, or was it you kind of shut it off?
Oh no, I was full of shame.
Oh, shame. Okay.
Shame.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Full of shame.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
mm.
So,
I want to speak to little Marilyn and be like, it's okay. Okay, so on
yeah.
the note
Little
of,
Mary-Lyn has done a lot of work on that shame.
oh yes, she's good. She's good now. Yeah. Um, So, but on the subject of spirit guides,
Yes.
it seems or it sounds like you were aware. You had a bigger awareness than
Mm.
you were young, but maybe you didn't have the answers to what it was that was happening.
I was not aware that there were spirit guides.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Not until like right before you started really diving.
So so that meditation, I said, meet your spirit guide.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
In doing that, um, I really didn't accept it as being real, right? I accepted it as just being um messages,
Okay.
um, coincidences that I'd have this meditation about this animal. And when I'd read about this animal, it was like, oh my God.
Right. 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 Right.
Um, there was I don't even know what to say. There was some recognition that it was a bigger force at play, but it wasn't really until I met my main guide, Cowboy,
Okay.
that I really went, oh shit, this is real.
Right.
And that was after I had met Pam,
Mhm.
in a meditation.
Okay.
And I was just, I was blown away.
Yeah, I can imagine. And then your mind goes back, right, to all the ones that you met before but couldn't wrap your head around, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Uh, so with all of the ones that, I mean, I'm sure we have tons that we haven't met, but the ones that you are aware of and have been aware of, come or gone, which in your memory has been kind of like your favorite or like most exciting, like when they come in, you're like, ooh, yeah, I love, they all kind of dig,
So, I mean, cowboy across the board.
right? Well,
However,
it's okay, cowboy. Just sit aside for a second. Okay, it's fine.
the ladies of love and light,
Mm,
those female, that divine feminine, those ascended masters of womanhood.
hmm
I had a lot of wounding around female relationships, as do a lot of women in our teenage years, right? It can be brutal.
Yeah.
Um, but as a group, the ladies of love and light, oh man,
Yeah.
the amount of love and support and acceptance
hmm
that they've taught me, not only for myself, but
Yeah.
for other people,
Yeah.
other women in particular.
Yeah.
Um,
hmm
mhm.
I mean, I'm not super familiar with them yet. I'm going to say yet, but I have been introduced to them and I have been inducted into the
Their
womanhood
group,
of every, I mean, you can't, it's hard to explain, right? But
right?
yeah, it's like the acceptance, but even that's not enough because they take on
Yes.
your everything. Like they share. It's almost like they share it, right? It's more than just we accept it. They're like, well, let us like share it with you. They're a part of that. They, at least for me, they were like, your pain is now our pain. Like we do this with you, as like a group.
Um, that's interesting because I experienced it in that way. Yes, I have experienced it in that way that yes, they are willing to take my pain with me.
Right.
And what's more powerful is once that happens, is they bring out the joy.
Right. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like instantly.
Like it's yeah, and then it's gone, right? They
Yes.
take the pain and then it's just excuse me, gone. Because it ends up just being, kind of
It
spread
gets
throughout all.
transmuted. I
It,
believe that's what I'm hearing right now is
that makes sense.
their ability to transmute that pain so you
Mhm.
can feel the joy that is your right.
Right. Yeah. It's so many layers to that, but yeah, it's
Yep.
all of that. And instantly it's
Yeah. Pretty instant. One of my favorite meditations with them was on a trampoline.
like you were meditating on a trampoline or you're with
No,
them.
in the meditation, it was
Okay.
jumping on a trampoline with these women,
Oh,
and it was amazing.
fun. Yeah.
Amazing how
Uh,
all of these women could be on a trampoline
doesn't matter.
and not, not be hurting each other.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But it was fabulous. Yeah.
That's nice. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
I like the visual of that. Like that's exciting. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, thank you for sharing that. That's cool.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna kind of start to lean into your healing journey
Okay.
and events that have led up or maybe have been a catalyst to like big moments of healing for you. Is there anything in particular that really turned the tides, like in a sense?
Um, being a blackout raging drunk.
Okay, was it just a blackout moment and then you were like, okay, I'm tired of these? Like was it
Ooh. So my last drunk was a bad one.
Okay.
My last drunk was a really, really bad one.
Hmm.
And I had a family member walk away from me.
Okay.
I'm done.
Yeah. Interesting.
And it was the next morning in I've I can remember parts of what happened now because of the stories that were told to me.
Okay.
Um, I can remember saying to my husband, I need to stop, don't I?
Mm.
He said yes.
This was the morning
It was
after.
the
Okay.
morning after. And my sister had called me. Well, she didn't call me. She didn't want to talk to me, but she did.
Okay.
Um, and she reminded me, if you don't get help, if you don't stop, you will never see these people again.
Sure. Sure.
Um, and up to this point, I hadn't lost anything. I was quite high functioning,
Right.
not quite sure how.
Okay.
Um, that was the turning point in
Sure.
my healing journey. That
Yeah.
was the biggest one.
Would that be your rock bottom? Is that the lowest? I mean, we don't have to go into all of the low points, but it was at the lowest point.
Um, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Even, even throughout my drinking, there were times of being suicidal,
Sure.
mildly, those thoughts.
Yeah.
But no, losing my niece and her daughter,
Yeah.
that absolutely,
That was
that
bigger.
was my rock bottom.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was bigger than the thought of losing my life.
Yeah. No, yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where my healing journey started.
Okay.
Um, once, and this was years before I met Pam.
Right.
Once I met Pam and I started on um, this journey
Right. Yeah.
of realizing, oh my God, I have this amazing ability to connect to spirit, to really help myself, and eventually learning, oh my God, I might be able to help other people.
Right.
Um, the biggest catalysts were how I watched my behavior affect other people
Okay.
in a bad way.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
And it was like, oh, I don't want to do that.
Right.
I don't want to do that. And I don't want to feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I think those times, because every time I made somebody feel poorly,
Right.
shame, oh my God, the shame, the shame, the shame, the shame. I was so tired of feeling shame.
Right.
Um, and healing was the only way to do it.
Right. Yeah, that
Mhm.
makes sense.
Yeah.
So throughout the journey,
Yeah.
I kind of want to say how many times, not just one, but has there been kind of periods of time where you want to kind of take yourself out of the game, kind of bench yourself a little bit
You
from,
know, not right away.
right,
So, um, COVID happened.
right. Mm-hmm.
COVID happened, and Pam and I, at this point, we are partners. The community spirit had become the conscious spirit. We
Right,
had a physical space.
right,
COVID happens, and boom, we are in full shutdown mode.
right.
And Pam and I continued to go and meet at our space.
Yeah, that makes me laugh because I'm with her, she mentioned the same exact scenario. I can just see like the news headlines and the newspaper headlines, like secret magic gatherings are happening, like and it's you and Pam, like like
Yeah.
I just thought that was
So
fun.
over what was that? I want to say it was like a year and a half.
Right.
I mean, it wasn't solid lockdown for a year and a half,
Right.
but it was
Right.
crazy town
Hmm.
of like a year and a half with COVID. In that year and a half, Pam and I met in that space easily 6 days a week,
Wow.
easily.
That's a lot of time to spend with each other.
The amount of healing that we did
Yeah.
in that time, and maybe it wasn't 6 days a week, maybe it was five, I don't know.
Sure.
uh, I'm sure sometimes it was 7 days a week.
Hmm.
We might go and we'd be there an hour and go, yeah, let's go home.
Yeah.
But we both, I feel like we both threw ourselves into the healing experience, the connecting experience,
Mhm.
expanding our awareness, and just growing as human beings.
Yeah.
So the amount of healing that happened, um, I just craved it. I was like, give me more, give me more, give me more, give me
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
Um,
Becomes addicting for sure.
it's very addicting.
Mhm.
And it was a good replacement,
Yeah.
right? A very good replacement.
Yeah. With all the fear happening in the world and you
Yeah.
have your little bubble of love and light,
Yep.
I would be there every day all day all day too. Was it just
Yeah.
you for the most part, or were you still welcoming others to come in and join you, or was that too risky to
So, I mean, at the beginning, we adhered to
right?
to the lockdown. It was just us.
Yeah.
Um, and eventually there were people who wanted to come to meditation.
Yeah.
And so they did. And we followed good protocol.
Right. Good.
We had a thermometer. I took everybody's temperature before they walked in the door.
Okay, very
You
good.
know,
That's good. Yeah, had
we had
masks.
masks. And for a while, everybody wore masks. Everybody had sanitizer at their chairs. We took really good care of the space.
Yeah.
Um, we sanitized before, we sanitized after. We did everything we could to make it safe. And there were some people who just really needed that sense of community. And
Yeah.
it was amazing.
Yeah. So what does that like what is 6 hours at TCS look like? Is it just a lot of meditation? Is it a lot of one-on-one conversation?
Oh, the
Is it
converse.
solo? Just
No, most of it. Is there a most of it? So there was healing, there was teaching, I was learning.
okay.
So the conversations that we would have, we'd start a conversation and then it would like grow legs. And it would go, sometimes like our podcasts.
Sure.
We'll
Yeah.
talk about something and then we'll go off and then we'll come back and we'll go another place and we'll come back. And they would get deep and sometimes it would hit wounding. And
Yeah.
then we would ask for healing and healing would come. And sometimes we would sit on the floor and we would throw cards.
Right.
That's one of the ways that I learned how to channel,
Okay.
was through the cards and allowing
Right.
information to come through that intuition. Pam Pam is very curious.
Yeah.
So she would have these questions and I could just channel and I would be transported. It would be like I'm in a meditation and I'm telling Pam her messaging through the meditation that I'm seeing.
Wow.
There were a lot of those.
This is tons of practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tons of practice. tons of healing. I was Pam's guinea pig, so she would get new stuff,
Yeah.
and I would be on the receiving end of it.
And now I hear now it's vice versa. You're getting all kinds of upgrades, and now she's the guinea pig.
So she has been my guinea pig a couple of times. Yeah, yeah, it's an odd flip.
I think it's great. I mean, the amount of trust
Yeah.
that there's.
Sometimes we would just need to shift the vibration, and Pam would get out her drum.
Right.
She would drum. Um, she would drum. We would both talk. Sometimes I would sing. Eventually, I bought my rattles,
Right.
and I would rattle, and the vibration in that place would be off the charts. Just
Were there ever the bowls? Like the
uh, sing. So I have a very small brass
okay.
singing bowl. We did have a gal that came to meditation. She would every once in a while bring a bowl,
Mhm.
but they never were part of our routine.
Gotcha. Is there anything else that you want to try or curious to any like instruments or tools like tarot or pendulum, anything
Um,
really?
pendulums do not work for me.
Oh, okay. Are you blocking the pendulum or the pendulum has just decided not?
Nothing. Pendulums have never, very rarely on
Interesting.
occasion. Now, I can use my body as a pendulum.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
I have gotten some good guidance that way. I don't use it anymore. So pendulums, no, they don't work. I read cards every once in a while. I am not what I would call a card reader. I don't have that real storytelling gift that
Okay.
most card readers have.
Yeah.
So, when I'm reading cards, my answers are very short and to the point.
Mhm. Yeah.
But Pam and I will read them. We'll do it for fun. We'll get it to get the juices flowing,
Sure.
to get us out of our head. I use oracle cards. You've seen that on
Yep.
Thursday messaging. I use
Yep.
them. Um, but any other tools?
Well, and runes too, right? So
Oh,
you
yep. I use runes. I keep telling myself I really want to get back in touch with the runes more
okay.
than I am. I don't know why I keep putting it off.
Hmm.
I don't know what that is. So something
So
I
how would you say runes are different from tarot or
they're not really,
right,
because for me, each item they have a specific meaning,
right.
right? But for me, the way I use them is within that meaning, and whatever the question is or the energy is around it, what other information can I be open to receiving from spirit?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So it is a tool to open up my channels to
Right.
whatever spirit wants to bring in.
Interesting. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I there's nothing that comes to mind, no, that I really want to
Any other
play with.
instruments or that you might be like, ooh, that looks kind
No.
of no.
I
How
play
did you
I
come across your rattles? Did you see them at a store and you're just like, I gotta have them?
no, I ordered them.
Okay.
I think Pam and I were talking. So in the meditation group, when we had meditation in person,
Mhm.
there were a number of people that attended a drum circle. They had drums and they would bring their drum.
Okay.
Drumming never resonated for me.
Okay.
It just didn't.
Yeah.
And Pam and I were having a conversation honestly, I don't really remember, but I think she had mentioned maybe, maybe, maybe a rattle. And I don't even know how I found the website. But this is, oh, it's so crazy trying to do it on Zoom.
Yeah.
But that's one of the rattles.
Yeah. No, yeah.
I have like 6 of them.
Oh, 6 of that same design,
Yeah,
or like,
they're
okay.
varying different sizes. These are made from gourds.
Oh, nice. So very
And
legit.
I had ordered them and I kept them at TCS. So anybody who wanted to rattle
Ooh,
during opening space or at any time, they were there for them.
yeah. Interesting.
So then I made my own.
Oh, wow.
Um, so the
That's
handle is a a I don't even know a spindle
okay.
off of a very old chair. It broke. Couldn't get it to stay back on, and so it's just laying around in a drawer.
You're like,
And I had shark's teeth that I had collected on a beach in Florida
This is
decades
getting
ago.
better and better as you talk.
And so I took these shark's teeth and I put them inside of a plastic Christmas ornament, wrapped it in leather,
Wow. Okay.
attached the stick, and I don't think I have it in
I
here.
was just gonna say,
And
come on, we gotta.
yeah, I don't have it.
Oh,
Um,
that's amazing.
yeah,
How long
so
did it take you to make that?
10 minutes.
Oh, I was not expecting that. Because that sounds like, for me, that sounds like days. Like you were at it for days and weeks and like crafting this wrap.
It was not 10 minutes. But it didn't take long. Once I went like, oh, well, what if I did? And I did. And I don't consider myself to be a really creative person.
I
So
don't know.
I think this was very spirit led.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty creative to
Yeah.
me. Yeah. I was not expecting any of those ingredients to come out, honestly. But that's awesome. That's awesome. Do you bring that one out, or is that more of a symbol of?
No, I don't use it very often. Yeah. I look at it often, but no, I don't look at it very often.
Okay,
Yeah.
pretty cool.
No. No, and the only other instrument, I play piano,
Oh, nice. Oh, I
and
love piano.
playing piano can be very healing for me.
Mhm.
It can also be a great outlet
Yeah.
when frustration comes and
Now, is that not? I'm not a pianist, right? But do you just flow? Does that kind of flow through you, or do you play like
nope,
music?
I have to read music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. My mother had the gift of being able to just sit down and just play.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it'd be hard to really mess it up. I mean, as other people who play, I'm sure like, oh, you could mess it up pretty good, but like just it's just such a beautiful sound that I feel like you just do whatever, right? And it'll
Not
sound good.
yeah,
It'll
not for me. Well, and for me, I grew up with very black and white thinking
Oh, okay.
and very perfectionistic,
Got
especially when it came to playing piano. Oh,
right.
oh, yeah.
Sure. Well, that's a stat. I mean, that's a status thing, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Playing piano. Oh my God. My oldest sister was the best at criticizing, bringing shame, ridicule,
Mm.
because she didn't like that I was better than her.
I was just gonna say that sounds like jealousy. It's
Yeah.
like jealousy to me.
Well, and I wasn't better than her, but I was at her level and she was, 6 years older than me.
Sure. Right.
So
She's gotta keep you down,
gotta keep me in my place.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sisters, man.
Yes. Yeah. And yeah, she's she she crossed over. It's been it'll be 17 years this year.
Mm.
So she's been gone a long time. And her energy, as I was saying that, I could just feel she's just, yeah, it's my job.
Well,
My
she's
job.
told that now. Yeah. So yeah. So it's like it's just sisters,
Yeah,
sisters.
it's
Sisters.
just my job.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
thank you for sharing that. That's cool.
Yeah.
So let's go back to a little bit to the healing journey
Oh, yeah.
overall.
Okay.
What still surprises you about healing?
How much there is, how much
Mm,
there's left. It's
yeah.
never ended. It never will end.
But we know that, and it still surprises.
It's still surprising.
Yeah.
And how, even when you know in your brain and you know in your heart, you have that heart brain connection about something you're working on and you're healing. And sometimes it's hard to move beyond it.
Yeah.
It's so easy to fall back into old patterns, old thought patterns.
Mhm.
That I think probably is the biggest surprise for
Yeah.
me, is how easy it is to fall back into it.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
How is spirit challenging you right now? What can you say about how spirit is challenging you right now?
Testing me, testing me, testing me, testing me.
Just making sure you've
Bringing me scenarios to where I am given an absolute choice of how I respond to certain things.
Mhm.
And I got told the other day, you're going to be tested until it's not a thing anymore.
Right.
We're not going to just stop.
Right.
This is going to be a test continually until you make that choice to
Mhm.
change.
Yeah. So it's like exercising like a muscle
Yes.
to,
Yeah.
to
And
not default to a specific choice.
honestly, I feel like lately I've got the exercise wrong and I'm exercising the wrong muscle.
Oh, okay.
It's
Well,
like,
they're definitely gonna keep throwing that at you.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
No, that's not it, Mari-Lyn.
yeah.
This
Try
is
it
a
again.
tricep exercise, not a bicep exercise. I don't
Your form is wrong.
My form is wrong. Yes. And maybe it's not the wrong exercise. Maybe that's it. Maybe my form is wrong. I don't know. Um, one of the things that I'm working on right now that I am continually being tested on is what other people think,
Okay.
and allowing that outside influence to really touch my entire demeanor, not only my mood, but the way I feel about myself.
Mm, yeah.
And this is one that runs deep, deep.
Yeah.
It goes, yeah.
Yeah. That a lot. It's obvious a lot of people have.
I, yeah. And I'm absolutely not unique in this.
No. It's
And
a.
there's this really fine line that I'm discovering of making that separation of respecting someone's opinion or thoughts or process,
Sure.
and taking it on as something personal.
Right.
I just take things so personal, and I've done a lot of work on it, and there's more work to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I can. Yeah. Like their opinions are valid, but it doesn't necessarily mean like it needs like you need to validate it for
Right.
yourself.
Right.
Right. Yeah. That. Yeah.
Yeah.
That. Yeah.
Yeah. So there was this I posted this thing on Facebook.
Mhm.
I won't go into the whole long story, but a part of it was after a storm is a calm.
Mhm.
And I put that, and whoever wrote it, I don't remember right now. I'm sorry. Don't remember his name.
Mhm.
And then I added, I am the calm. A couple of people liked it. A couple of people loved it. And one person laughed. One person put the laughing emoji.
Uh-oh.
It took me down.
Yeah.
It took me down. And there's absolutely no reason that should take me down.
But there it was a reason.
But there it was. There
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
And the reason it took me down is because I want to be the calm,
Right.
but I'm not.
Well,
I'm
you're,
not
yeah,
always. I mean,
yeah,
we can't always.
sure.
Um,
Yeah, no, not from like a perfection standpoint, right? Like, so you were still kind of beating yourself up a little bit, like
yep.
not 100%, maybe felt a little, what's the word called? Um, I don't want to say critical, but like the people who are like do it or say not to do it, but they do it themselves. Hypocritical. That's the,
Hypocritical.
yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, that's what you, yeah, that's what we're working towards, right? Like
Yes.
that's, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So, and Spirit brought me a very beautiful message with that a couple of days later.
Mhm.
My husband and I, we were playing disc golf, and I was not playing well.
Mhm.
And I just kept getting that vision of that laughing face.
Mm.
And the message I got was, would you just stop? It's a beautiful day. You're playing golf. Be calm. Be
Right.
that calm.
Right.
Thank you, Spirit.
Yeah.
And I did.
Yeah. Yeah. This is your chance.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be what you're saying.
Yeah. So while that one laughing face took me down, it turned into a beautiful reminder of
Yep.
choose you.
Right.
You have complete
Yeah.
agency over how you feel.
Yeah. And now every laughing face will do that for you. I feel like, someone throws another laughing face and you'll just be reminded and
Yeah.
laugh along with it.
Laugh
Like,
along with it.
you
Yeah,
know, like that's yeah, that's beautiful. I mean,
exactly.
that person's mean and we don't care about them. But
Totally. And that's their issue.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
it doesn't have to become mine. And that's, I think, one of the biggest lessons that I'm learning right now is that is you.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it doesn't
something
have
about
to,
that was funny for somebody. I
yeah.
don't I
Um,
don't yeah. Interesting.
yeah. So,
Okay. Well, no, that's nice. And yes, I did see that. I liked
oh,
that post.
thank you.
Yeah, no problem. That was not my laughing face.
No, it was not. No, it wasn't. No, no, no.
So I did want to talk about something I know, well, you've expressed in the past that you don't love talking about this,
Okay.
but it's spiritual related since everything, I guess it's hard to find what isn't connected to spirit in some,
Everything is connected to spirit.
everything is connected.
Absolutely everything.
So for the viewers
Yes.
mostly who might have a little trouble or maybe haven't yet connected everything to spirit,
Okay.
right? So we're talking obviously spirit guides, angels, the paranormal, talking aliens, UAPs, stuff like that, or Bigfoot, fairies, whatever you want to call it, right?
Right.
What isn't spirit, right? So in that note, what other than just the paranormal, which most people are more used to, What otherworldly energies have you come into contact with, if at all?
Ooh, wow. So I've never come into contact with a Bigfoot.
Okay.
I No, I've not.
Not yet.
Um, oh man.
Is
There's
now, are you doing that because there's a long list or
Yeah. I
okay.
don't know. I don't really know how to answer that because energetically and dimensionally, holy crap, there's a lot of things I have been exposed to.
Okay.
Alien. I'm going to say yes, but I can't give you an exact scenario.
Was it love-based or fear-based interaction?
I'm not even sure I can answer that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Well, so the term alien.
Right.
Okay, this is a really big topic.
Yeah. Hmm.
Are we talking? Are we talking guides like star guides?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's kind of
Absolutely love based.
yeah.
Absolutely. I have a team of Palladians that
Okay.
holy crap, that put a lump in my throat.
Oh, okay. So very have met they mean a lot.
Yes. Oh yes. They are like family.
Okay.
It is absolutely love based.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Um,
outside of your own guides and team, like when doing a clearing or something like that, have you ever come across
you know,
an alien type
I
energy?
want to say that there has been an alien type energy, but I have not come like face to face in the
Sure.
dimensions
Okay.
with that I not that I can remember.
Right.
Um,
Volunteered to for contact or
um and I can't say that I haven't had contact.
right.
There's something in the subconscious that is preventing me from saying I have never had contact.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Right. But no
Yeah.
specific story comes to mind that you're
No. 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 But then, you're talking getting away from aliens. Let's just talk about the earth.
right.
Um I have no idea how many dimensions there are.
Right.
My brain really doesn't even want to think about it because sensory overload.
Mhm.
But the amount of different types of energetic things I have come into contact with, ooh, there's a lot. There's a
Yeah.
lot. Now, for me, when we talk about fairies and gnomes, gargoyles, um, I don't know that I can say, yes, there are fairies that fly around in the 3D,
Sure.
but the energy of that is absolutely there.
Hmm.
Yes,
Hmm.
absolutely.
It's all stacked together, right? So
Yes.
it's like enmeshed, but not.
Enmeshed but separate. Yes.
Yeah.
And sometimes not even enmeshed. Sometimes it's very, very separate. Uh,
Right. Sure.
yeah, it's a complicated.
I wonder, I wonder out of all the different types, which ones actually share that constant dimension, right? So it's like, oh, dragons and gnomes are actually in the same, you know what I'm saying? That like because the 3D has so many like
Right. So
um
what I'm getting is that there's, how not everybody can visit different dimensions. Not everybody can read the energy through all the different dimensions, right?
right,
You and I have that gift. We have that ability. The same is true in every dimension.
right. Okay.
Every,
Yeah, that makes sense.
so not every
not everything or one body, whatever travels,
Right.
right?
Right.
In that sense.
Right. Because there's many energies. So let's just say there's a dimension of gnomes,
Right. Right.
right?
Right.
All the different gnome energies, there's only certain ones that can travel
Right.
through dimensions.
Yeah.
I know that sounds really,
No, but it makes sense. I mean,
really
it
crazy.
resonates, right? It lands
Yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't it,
Yeah.
have a similar,
And and they are an energy of Earth.
right.
So even in their own dimension, they still have work to do that benefits the Earth.
Okay. Even the one that we're walking on in the 3D.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I'm getting right now.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So with all the activity that our Earth 3D is seeing right now with aliens, UAP, are you kind of up to date on
I'm not.
okay,
I don't stay up to date on anything.
well, just so you know, there's been an increase of activity all over the planet, right? Like disclosure, like the government keeping secrets. It's almost funny at this point, right? Everyone's awareness is starting to catch up. How do you, or what do you think or believe this means for us in our dimension? Is this, or is our vibration increasing and that's why this is happening? Or is this there's so much dark and so light is, like how do you see that dynamic and why, like where are we going to have this change?
So part of it is just the awareness is
Hmm.
increasing.
So you don't think the actual activity is changing, it's
Not
just our
much.
the
Not
activity.
much.
Right.
I mean, there might be more. I mean, the Earth is ascending.
Right.
The Earth is absolutely ascending. And as we ascend, it brings more tension
Okay.
between love and fear.
Right.
The higher you reach, um, it's harder to hang on to
Right.
that higher vibration, and so that lower vibration just kind of wants to suck it all in. With the way our technology is, our awareness of everything has increased.
Yeah.
Everything,
Yeah.
um, to I mean, from physical abuse, domestic abuse, um, child abuse.
Mhm.
You know, when I was a kid, child abuse was not a normal thing that was talked about. I mean, it was like
Yeah.
non-existent.
Yeah.
And now we are proactive against it.
Yeah. So you feel we're heading in a positive trajectory. You said we are
Yes.
ascending, right? So
Yes.
do you see that as more of like a bubble? Like eventually, yes, like the tension, 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 but eventually are we gonna break through that ceiling and not necessarily get such a not reach those low, low lows
Ooh,
at some point? Or is this
humanity's got a lot to learn before that happens.
sure not maybe our lifetimes on
No,
this planet?
no, no. Humanity has way too much to learn
Yeah.
before
I
that
feel like
can.
it's kind of I mean, it is going in that direction. It's trending,
It is trending.
you know,
Yeah,
in, in a good direction.
yeah. It does feel like there's kind of maybe a mismatch right now.
Hmm.
Maybe, the trend is a little bit plateaued.
Hmm.
Maybe we are hovering above the plateau. We don't know quite what to do.
Yeah.
There's this real feeling of confusion.
Hmm.
Um, and who knows? Maybe we take a nosedive.
Right. I mean, it could, or in some, so there's dimensions, right? And we're gonna explode minds for a little bit and we can come back, but there's dimensions and then there's timelines, right? And there could be a timeline where it goes down and then there's a timeline where it goes up, and all of that is happening. So
Sure.
all possibilities are happening, whichever one we're living through. I guess, well, I mean, if we get a vote, then
So can we talk? I would rather talk about aliens than timelines.
oh,
Now,
okay.
now, do I disagree with the timeline theory?
Yeah,
No, I don't disagree with it. I can't disagree with it. However, it just freaks me out.
it freaks you out.
It
Interesting. I
does.
mean, it's gonna be hard for me not to dive deeper into that.
Yeah, because now once upon a time,
All the things you
dimensions,
do.
talking about different dimensions, and that what I would be communicating with this thing
Right.
from a different dimension that nobody else can see. Are you kidding me? I am firm in that.
Yeah.
Absolutely firm in that.
Yeah, and that
Um,
doesn't freak you out.
and the timeline thing, I don't know why it freaks me out because so deja vu.
Yes.
I have experienced more deja vu in my life.
Oh, I love it.
Um, I believe, and I believe there's different reasons for that deja vu. I don't think there is just one concrete reason why we experience it. I do believe one of the reasons we experience deja vu is because all timelines have synced up in that moment.
Ooh, interesting. Interesting. I hadn't heard that one yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe, I mean, I can't say
So,
yes.
how can I deny that they're there if I have that belief?
Yeah, obviously. Yeah. So does that, because you're reminded then of timelines in that moment, is that a happy moment for you, or is that
Yes, I love deja vu.
interesting?
And I think one of the reasons that it freaks me out is I have a little bit of FOMO.
Oh, but you that's so funny because like you're missing out, but you're not because you're in the other time. You are in the other timelines. So you are, it's like the opposite of FOMO. You are everywhere, but you don't know, like you don't have that knowledge
Right.
of everything that has happened. So is that why it freaks
Yeah.
you? Because it's just
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Funny. I always think that like deja vu is almost like because it feels like you've dreamed of it before, right? Like you've been there before, it's
Yep.
happening again, right? So I always thought or think that deja vu is more so a checkpoint to like reassurance that I'm hitting checkpoints on the contracts that I've made for this lifetime.
Yep. I do believe that is one of the reasons for them.
Yeah, it's like
Mm-hmm.
okay, not I always know like okay, I am where I'm supposed to be. That's always true.
Mm-hmm.
But in those moments it like solidifies it. Okay, I've done everything that I've agreed to do and in hitting that kind of
Yeah.
checkpoint. Yeah.
Another um, point that comes up with deja vu sometimes, and this isn't a consistent thing, is oh shit, there's a lesson here.
Yes. That's harder to read for me. That's in those moments, or when like an owl's yelling at me and I know like they're like pay attention right now to this present moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much pressure in that for me. It's hard for me to stop and receive in those moments.
I I can think of one particular time I was working retail and I had to take a phone call. a management phone call because I was at the moment, I was the management on duty.
Yeah.
And I remember having deja vu in that phone call.
Ooh, that's weird.
And the question was asked, and I knew in that moment that my answer, I had to make the choice, and I did not make the best choice. And I had a big lesson,
Yeah.
had a big lesson to learn because of my answer, and I knew it was coming.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's almost like slowing down time in a way. Like it kind of like there's like a foreshadowing for you, and then you
Yeah, kind of. It was weird.
shows.
There have been a few other times in my life where deja vu has been coincided with that. Oh my God, I know this choice is important. Um,
Yeah.
and there's a lesson. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Well, that's pretty cool. Yeah. Love deja vu. Yeah, that's good. So, okay, so let's well, I think we're going pretty long here. So I'm gonna do last few questions. The
Okay.
last one's gonna be more light and fun.
Okay.
But so from your perspective, I mean, you've done a lot of healing, right?
Mm.
What sort of vibe do you hope to give off for the people that come into contact with you, whether it's
Love.
in person, just love, just baseline love?
Baseline love. Um, compassion,
Hmm.
honesty.
Yeah. What do
Yeah.
you what do you feel is the most, or how are you misunderstood?
Oh, how am I misunderstood? Oh,
It's hard, but you kind
it
of
is hard because
know.
that question took me back 30 years.
Not the same person.
Not the same person, not at all the same person. How am I misunderstood? I honestly, I don't know.
Well, that's
Um, I don't know.
okay. Are you introverted or extroverted?
Intro. So intro. Yes.
Heather and I, we with the same question, and we both kind of came to the same point because we're introverted. A lot of the times, people feel like, we think that we're above them, or just because we don't reach out, right? And like take, look for that interaction or have that super welcoming kind of exterior, right? That we kind of get
Right.
pegged as a,
As a
yeah,
stuck up bitch.
yeah, as like a,
And that's
I
that's
mean,
where
I
that
don't know
question
if I
took
have like
me.
resting bitch face, right? But like, just,
Right. And
yeah.
that's where the question took me was that is how I used to always be misunderstood. I don't know if that's still the case. I
Okay.
really don't know. Um, yeah, I and
Yeah.
my circle is so small.
Hmm.
Um, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's just kind of
yeah.
part of the
I-
gig.
Kind of a, kind of a fizzle dud of an answer to a great question.
No, I mean, and if you don't know, I mean, that in a sense, I think it is nice because then you don't tend to feel misunderstood often, and that's not an easy feeling to deal with, you know?
No, it's not. It's a horrible feeling to deal
Yeah.
with.
So I'm glad that it's not necessarily a
Yeah.
huge part of your life. So that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so last question.
Okay.
You and Pam often, I think mostly Pam says this phrasing, but you might too. I'm not sure. So throughout all kinds of videos, you've had so much healing, so much messaging from your guides, a lot of questions, I'm sure that you ask. Some things come through blocked and a little above your pay grade sort of sense, right?
Hmm.
If you could have one question answered that
Ooh,
was above your pay grade, what would you ask?
one question that is above my pay grade.
Your cowboy cannot say no.
Ooh,
He has to give it up.
will we find world peace?
Yeah, he's blocked that. Yeah. That's a big question. That's a big question.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's a good one.
yeah. It is my hope.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're taking action every day to get us there. So so I mean you can't
Right? Because yes,
really
healing, self-healing, self-healing, and finding self-love is the only way to find it.
right. And
Is
not just that, but you're helping, you're the catalyst for so many others to do that
to
too.
find it.
Hopefully the vibration is increasing somehow, right? So yeah.
Yeah. Yep. That would be my question. Will
Okay.
we ever achieve world peace?
Yeah. Well, that would be nice to know.
Yeah.
If you ever get that passed, let me know. Let
Yeah.
everyone.
They ever answer that question, I will be shouting it from, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and no one will believe you probably, but still, I mean, we will. So you can let us know. But yeah, spoilers, right?
Yeah. So
Well,
he's just over here just, like just having a hoot.
yeah.
You guys are funny.
Even he's probably like, I don't even know. Like I don't know. There's so many levels we're not even aware of, I guess. So we don't need to.
So much we're not aware of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would hurt our brains.
It would things that we are aware of hurt my brain.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Hmm. Well, thank you very
Yeah.
much for answering all the questions.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, no
Thank
problem.
you. That was not quite so scary. I kind of feel like I was a big chatterbox there a couple of times.
No, I think it was great. Yeah, I think it was great. And the viewers, I'm sure, are going to have more questions to piggyback off of what you've talked about today.
Yeah,
So,
please ask your questions.
mhm.
We love your comments. We want to know what you think of these. Be kind, as always.
Yeah. I mean, if it's on YouTube, comments just help the algorithm anyway.
That's
So,
true.
go ahead and, we won't like it, but it'll still help us reach more people. So thank you for thank you for helping us
Yes.
anyway. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
well, yeah. Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Marci. That was great.
Yeah. I hope you have a
Yeah.
great rest of your day.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
too. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Yes. Thank you.
Bye.